Hello, students, and welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about assessing intelligence. Theories of intelligence. So, what is intelligence? So, intelligence is the ability to understand complex ideas, adapt effectively from the environment, learn from experience, engage in reasoning, and overcome obstacles. The first person to really try to define intelligence was a guy named George Spearman. So George Spearman defined intelligence as what he called G, or generalized intelligence. He said that the G factor was a broad capacity of influences that help us perform cognitive abilities on specific measures. So he said that G breaks down into two main types: fluid, which is how quickly you can think, and crystallized, which is a little slower, but it's like everything that you know. So he did this using something called factor analysis, which is, for the purposes of this class, it's just a statistical technique that shows how things cluster together or how closely related they are. So he once used the example of athleticism. So he said a person might be a very skilled runner, but this doesn't necessarily mean they'd be a good figure skater. However, because they're fit, they would probably be better at physical tasks than someone who's less coordinated or more sedentary in their life. So intelligence is a similar thing. It just kind of varies from person to person. Thurston went along and said that intelligences or intelligence types or abilities cluster into seven categories. So he also used factor analysis, and he basically said G is a combination of how, like, verbal comprehension, or what words you know and knowing their meaning. Inductive reasoning, so your ability to kind of like think logically. Word fluency, so not only knowing what words are, but using them correctly. Spatial ability, so understanding how things relate to one another, sometimes in terms of like distance. Memory, which I think is self-explanatory. Perceptual speed, so how quickly you can process. And then numerical ability or mathematical skills. So let's do another take on this, and let's look at who you think is the most intelligent. So I'm going to show you some pictures, okay? And then at the end, you're going to tell me who you think is most intelligent. So who's the most intelligent? Howard Gardner believed that there are 8 different ways a person can be intelligent. So you can be body smart, people smart, word smart, logic smart, nature smart, self smart, picture smart, or music smart. So he said that multiple intelligences theory is he said that multiple intelligences theory, basically that people have abilities in different areas. It's not the same thing as learning style. So this has never been something that's supported by research. This is a common misuse of psychological terms, by the way. It helps explain what's called savant syndrome. So basically, this happens a lot of times with people who are on the autism spectrum. Who are low in many other abilities, but like in the case of Stephen Wiltshire, he's low in like social intelligence and other things, but he has an incredible ability, which we're going to learn about right now. Sternberg. So Sternberg basically said, okay, so is it 8? Is it 7? Is it G? What is it? And he basically said, no, intelligence really breaks down into 3 categories. This is called the Triarchic Theory of intelligence. So we have creative intelligence, so our ability to, adapt, come up with unique solutions. Analytical, so our ability to solve a well-defined problem with a single answer, so very logical. And then practical intelligence. So this would be another way of saying, like, street smart or something like that, life smart. So basically, every one of us possesses intelligences in different ways. You might be very practically smart, but not very analytically smart. But very creative, and so on and so forth. So it combines in lots of different ways. So here are comparisons of the different theories of intelligences and a summary of the strengths and weaknesses of each one. So I'll pause this and let you take a look at that. Creativity. So creativity is our ability to produce ideas that are novel and valuable. So there's two different types of creative thought or thinking. There's convergent thinking, which is like singling in on a correct answer, like on a multiple choice test or something like that, or a math problem, or solving a Rubik's Cube. Um, you have to use an algorithm usually to solve it because there's only one correct answer for Rubik's Cube, and that's when you get all the colors lined up. Divergent thinking is creativity, and so it's our ability to generate new ideas based on a single stimulus. So like when you're thinking about what to draw, you can draw so many different things. Or if I said, come up with all the words that you can think of that start with the letter B or something like that. That's divergent thinking versus solve this math problem, which is more of a convergent thinking. And social and emotional intelligence. So social intelligence refers to our ability to navigate social situations, whereas emotional intelligence is processing the emotional components of those situations and knowing our own emotions as well as those of other people. So the components of emotional intelligence, there's the perceiving aspect, so recognizing facial expressions, understanding emotions, so being able to see blended emotions and predict emotional states, managing emotions, so basically being in control of our own feelings and not overreacting, knowing, using emotions as fuel for motivation. What are the benefits of emotional intelligence? Well, people with high emotional intelligence often have other beneficial traits like the ability to delay gratification, sort of like this video we're going to watch right here. And then the level of emotional intelligence, including the skill of reading the emotions of others, correlates with success in careers and other social situations. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I have for you today. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a fantastic day.